Hiya, Lotto Lass here, and as you can see I have 3 of the Money Kingdom £5 scratch cards to share with you today. I think I've shared these before on my channel. They're not reasonably new, they've been out a while, so let's have a look. So you get your coordinates there, then you need to scratch off the matching ones there, and if you reveal these symbols here you win the prize underneath, and then you also get a bonus game up here. So let's have a look and see if we can find any wins. So the first coordinate is, I'll do them in twos actually, A4 and B5. So A4 and B5. Okay, so it looks like we've revealed a bit of something on both. So we have B4 and A3. So B4 and A3. Okay, so it looks like part of the key and part of the shovel, or the spade, sorry. D1 and D7. So down here we have D1, that's a blank, and D7, which is part of the crown. Next we have G2 and H4. G2, we have part of the scroll, and H4 we have part of the chest. Next we have F3 and A5. F3 is a blank and A5 is part of the key. And then the last one on there was D5. So there, and that one's also a blank. So onto the second row we have G7 and B2. So G7, that's a blank, and B2, that's part of the spade. And then we have G6 and H7. So G6, that's also a blank, and H7, and that is. Okay, so on to the next two. We have G5 and B1. So G5 is part of the scroll, and B1 is the end of the spade. Next we have F1 and G4. So F1, we have the lock, which is a prize, fantastic, and G4 we have another part of the scroll. So final coordinates are H3, and that is another part of the chest, and C4 there. Okay, so as you can see, the only ones that we actually found was the lock. So we have one win there, so let's have a look under the here and see what that is. And we have a £5 win, and then let's have a check for the bonus, and we're looking for the cross fingers, and we do have it, fantastic. So that's a double win, and that's a £5 as well, fantastic. So £10 win on that card. So on to the second one. So the coordinates, first ones are F5 and G5. Okay, so we've got F5, that's part of the chest, and G5, and that's a blank. So next ones are A6 and B2. A6 is part of the crown, and B2 is part of the key. And next we have H6F3. H6 is part of the scroll, and F3, that's a blank. And next we have E5 and A3. So E5, that's part of something, and A3, that's a blank. Okay, so next ones we have are H5 and B4. H5, part of the scroll, and B4, part of the key, I believe. And then the last coordinate up there is E3, and that is part of the spade. Second row we have A1 and B6. So A1, that's a blank, and B6 over here. We've got the end of the key. Then we have B3 and H4. H4. We have the end of the scroll on that side. We need that side. And B3. We have another part of the key. H1 and C5. So H1, that's a blank, and C5, that's a blank. Next two, we have our E7 and F6. So E7, that's a blank, and F6, which is a bit more of the chest. Yeah, we need another piece of the chest. So next coordinate is G2, that's a blank, and finally B5. So there. So as you can see, we don't have any complete ones this time, so we'll just have to see what the bonus is. And that one is a gold bar, so no win on that card. So third and final card, here we are. I'll move it up so that we can see it a bit better. So the coordinates are B7 and D2. So B7 and D2. We've got part of the chest. F5 and A5. F5 and A5. Next two we have is B5 and B1. So B5 and B1. On to the next ones we have is H5 and D4. H5 and D4. Oh, sorry, D4. We'll have to hope that we've got a D3 to complete that. So we have E3 and B3. I've made a mistake there. So E3 and B3. And finally on that row we have F7. That's the end of the spade. Onto the second row we have H7 and C1. H7 and C1. And then we have E2 and E4. So E2 and E4. Next we have F6 and B6. So F6 and B6. Okay, and then we have E6 and C3. E6 and C3. We have part of the crown. And then our final ones are E7. We have the end of the key, and finally F4. So unfortunately apart from where I made a mistake with the chest, we have no matches there on this one, unfortunately. So let's have a look at the bonus, and it's a gold cup. So 2 losses, 1 win, but it was a double win on that one. So £10 back off a £15 spend. Not bad at all. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks again. Ta-ta for now.